Hello and welcome to a quick Mech Warrior Clans build video. I just wanted to make this for some people that are new to the Mech Warrior series and are struggling a little bit with how, weapon loadouts work in this game, because sometimes it can feel like you're not doing like any damage. This is a build for the Viper, the medium mech that you start off your campaign with, slightly modified with a classic Mech Warrior build that those in the community have probably already known about, but new players won't. This is a concept known as laser vomit. So as you can see in here, if I go into this loadout, I am rocking 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 ER small lasers. Now, the reason that this is a surprisingly decent build, especially on a light mech, is for a couple of reasons. Number one, when you're starting off with light mechs, they are extremely limited by their weight capacity. You're going to try to put on a ballistic weapon, for an example, and you're going to be like, oh, this weighs like 5 to 10 tons all on its own. I can't equip anything else with it. And damage-wise, that's really not worth it. The thing about lasers, though, is that lasers are a little weird in this game, at least compared to how a layman would think about it. So the smaller the laser, the higher the DPS. So for instance, if you look at here, the ER small laser has a DPS of 1.67. And then if I look at an ERM, it's 1.46 per second. And then finally an L, oh, that does go up to 2.07. Good for them. Oh, no, sorry, that's showing my buffs. But the important thing to remember is that the bigger a laser is, the less weight efficient its damage is. But what you do get out of it is range. So large lasers have a max range of 1,620 meters. A small laser only has 600 meters. This is not a huge deal, though, because most of the missions, especially in the early campaign when you're rocking these light mechs, are extremely close quarters. The other thing to notice is the weight. A large laser weighs 4 tons. A small laser weighs 0.5 tons, meaning you can slap on a ton of these and it will weigh practically nothing. Because of this, you get to equip yourself with some other things you're going to need. As an example, I have put 0.5 tons of ferro armor on both of my chest slots, as well as both of my arm slots. Also in the arm slots, I've put a double heatsink in each arm. So that can help with the heat buildup, because that's going to... So the shoulder slot on a Viper will start off with 2 machine guns, which is crap. You don't want that. The important thing here is that you can actually swap these out. For instance, if you go in here, you will see a thing down here that says select Omnipod. If you click that, you get to swap between different types of loadout. These cost XP to unlock, so you will have to play a round or 2 with the Viper before you can unlock these. For instance, it took me 2 rounds to unlock all the things I needed for this build. So you're going to want to unlock the Viper A right torso, because it swaps 2 ballistic slots for 2 laser slots. You're going to want to do the same thing on this torso. Again, Viper A. You're going to want to do that on your left arm. Again, this one is the Viper C arm. And then the torso, less important, but if you got it, go for it. Viper C center torso. And you can, this is because there is an Omnipod loadout screen, right? So you got Viper A, C, B, and whenever you unlock these, you unlock all the pods in their section, right? So by unlocking Viper A, it gave me both torsos. By unlocking Viper C, it gave me the arm and the center. So with this, you can put on a ton of ERS lasers and now you can fully laser vomit. Now, I would recommend also go into modify mech and change your weapon groups. I recommend putting your arm lasers on your primary fire and your torsos on your secondary fire, because you won't always be able to hit things with your torso lasers, especially like helicopters and things like that. So I'm going to put this into a mission real quick, and then you'll be able to see it in action. Meet you back in a sec. Okay, so here we are in mission. I'm going to just engage, even though this is supposed to be a stealth mission, and show you kind of what this build is dealing with. So one of the reasons that this build is so powerful is you get insane damage with very high accuracy at a high rate of fire on a very specific spot, meaning you can just burst down the core of a mech in about 2 bursts to 3 bursts early on. You'll see on the target readout on the top right, which the ECM is unfortunately messing up, that the damage to the core torso is pretty much instantaneous death. This is because, of course, the way that damage works in Mech Warrior, you want to take out the core torso or both legs. If you do either of these things, a mech will die. Now, this is harder with weapons that are less accurate, like ballistics, which come in a shotgun variant early on, or burst fire. Or things like the pulse lasers, where again they're burst fire. The advantage of these beams is you get to aim just right at the torso, click all your buttons, vomit a ton of lasers on one exact spot, and then all your damage is applied to the same body part. This means that if you can aim decently, you can just run around instantly deleting enemies, and the range is not too much of an issue, because the range listed on weapons is not the max range, it's the optimal range. For instance, you'll see these small lasers have a range in the bottom right corner of 300 meters. If I aim at that wall there, that is 400 meters, but it still hits the wall. 300 meters is the optimal range, after which they start experiencing damage fall off, so you're not doing quite as much damage as the weapon list, but it still hurts. And this means that in most missions that we've encountered so far, at least in my friend's co-op playthrough, where we're a far bit ahead of this mission that we're currently showcasing here, you can do a significant amount of damage to anything, including helicopters engaging you from long range. So that pretty much covers the build, as well as I just wanted to offer some, basic knowledge on how Mech Warrior loadouts work. Bigger lasers are not necessarily better, they just have longer range. Ballistic weapons are typically the opposite. The smaller a ballistic weapon, the longer the range, but the worse the damage per second is. Use this as you will, but I will say, as much as ballistics are super fun and we love using them, you really should wait until you have heavier mechs before you start putting them on, just because they are extremely heavy, so light mechs cannot make good use of them. Oh boy, another test one. Such a waste. And one more. Yeah, one change you might want to make for this build is the heat buildup is pretty intense, as you're seeing here. I could definitely justify taking off those armor pods and replacing them with an extra heat sink. But that's up to the user. I like having a little bit of tankiness, at least when I'm playing solo. With friends, I absolutely will go for heat sinks for the higher damage because we're engaging, but the AI is not always the quickest to engage, and you're going to end up taking a lot of damage as the main character in this. All right, well, that's all. I hope you enjoyed the build. I'll see y'all later. Bye.